WellStack, it's veterans helping veterans. What I realized across my career is that there's a lot of ways to finance businesses. VCs fund fewer than 1% of startups. If you are a African American, Hispanic, or woman, it gets even more abysmal. And so finding alternative ways to deliver capital to the veteran entrepreneur ecosystem has been our calling at WellStack. We're really excited about it. A little bit about myself, Army, West Point, invested banking at Merrill Lynch, started my own hedge fund, MS Capital, which I grew to $40 million, primarily from family offices, and then worked at a $500 million family office as one of two investors, and then at a $2 billion private equity firm as one of four investors. I serve on boards on their behalf, MediaCo, as well as National Cinema Media. Here's what we're going to talk about today. How can veteran entrepreneurs get access to capital? We're going to talk about where to start. We're going to do a really quick pitch deck overview. We're going to talk about modeling deals, how to find who's interested, or be able to share some perspective on how people can find you and how you find your deals. Where to start looking for people, how to get meetings and how to make the most of them when you get them, and then how do you get through due diligence. We'll also be talking about the term sheets in the process, some testimonials, and then how can you get capital pre-product market fit. So first things first, start with a goal. And throughout this platform, we'll be referencing WellStack's Veteran Capital Access platform. We just built it out. We're using digital automation and technology to accelerate the capital access process to help veteran entrepreneurs get where they're looking to go. And the very first thing is starting with a goal. And so what are you looking to accomplish? Are you looking to increase revenue? Is it cash flow? Are you looking to take the company public over a few years? Are you looking to just maximize value? What are you looking to accomplish? And then breaking out the milestones and tasks really beneath that. And then as you then think about it, you go, well, who are the types of investors that like companies like yours? What's the revenue, geography, and kind of industry? Where are there allocators that are interested? On the right hand of the screen, we've got what I've quantified across 36 different ways of financing a business. And so, Ari, I would call, where would you put Serengeti? I think there's a couple of these that might fit.
In essence, we are really a private credit fund, but I think the lines are a little bit blurred between hedge fund and private credit. And there's just general investment firms now that have an opportunistic mandate.
That's great and really, really helpful. I'd even also include you with the recurring revenue-based loans. I know for our clients that have recurring revenue, you're one of the very first lenders I think of if they've got the sufficient scale to meet your min thresholds.
Yeah, the one thing to say just about the market is a lot of those have blurred. Those lines have been blurred, and you can access that type of structure and capital typically from a few lenders can offer like multiple different offerings. So it's, our revenue finance product is merged now into the same fund as our term loans, which are merged into the same thing as specialty financing, equipment lending, hard asset lending. So again, it's there are more commingled credit funds these days, which make your job of going to different capital providers a little bit easier.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, it was very much siloed. I'd say even a few years ago. But it's interesting to hear that really the mandates have sufficient flexibility to allow the portfolio managers to start to extend, sort of thing. Or did you kind of amend as you went, or did you always have that capability and you just started deploying it?
You typically build an expertise in something or some things, and then once investors have faith in your ability to generate attractive returns in a certain strategy or asset class, then they give you a little bit more flexibility to continue expanding from there. It's no different than a hedge fund, Andrew, right? You start doing long short equity, then you develop the ability to do long short credit, distress, activism, just kind of your offerings expand. And the private credit market's been somewhat the same because people started doing very niche lending, if you will, or very focused lending. And then as banks have stepped back, private credit has stepped in. And so it's been easier for allocators to say, I've already underwritten the manager. I'm not giving you larger, a broader mandate, larger check sizes to go and kind of tackle the market how you see fit.
That's really interesting, actually. And that's very, very, very responsive. You're actually at the top of the list for most responsive allocators. And so your nimbleness as a platform, I think, is continually impressed me. And so we talk a bit here about the network. and the benefits. And so we did surveys before we built this, and this was one of the top questions. How do you get access to the network? What can you do it? At Wellstack, what we've really done is digitize my network. And RA is one of the coolest and best parts of it, but it's deep and broad. And so really delivering that to our clients is a core part of what we do. But for you as an entrepreneur, if you're out seeking capital, you absolutely should be starting with your network. LinkedIn is a tremendous service. And so the ability to go and to see who within your community, ideally, especially if there are other veterans that you can reach out to. You're going to want to start with your best and your heaviest partner. And so we've got a great institutional relationship with Goldman. As many great things do, it goes to an awesome Marine. And so we've got a really good connections there, and we're able for our larger clients to deliver both wealth management as well as investment banking services. And so you want to take stock of who's in my network, who's the one the most have the greatest level of impact if they were to come into the enterprise, and you want to start there and use that to create what could be an anchor partner or an anchor investor or an anchor lender. And then you're able to build out around those relationships as well. I got a lot of questions about how do you get through diligence. And so I've mapped out and laid out here all of the different deal stages, which being you from, hey, I have a goal now, how do I actually get it done and how do I get the capital for it? And so identifying your priorities, building out your roadmap, getting the comps, which are a core part of this, right? You're going to take a look and see what else is being done for businesses like mine, what else is happening in the industry, what are the latest trends, the latest transactions, who are the latest counterparties, and then you're then able to hone in on your process and determine your optimal financing strategy and evaluate your options. And then the diligence stage here. Aria, by the way, please, I know you know a lot about a lot of this stuff, and I please feel free to hop in as they're saying any of this.
Sure.
And so we look to automate all of this through VetCap so that the requirements of going through all of these painstakingly can be removed. But in these series of steps, when executed well, lies significant strategic growth for your businesses. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Leveraging your military network and crafting a compelling pitch are really the bedstones and the foundation of what your approach should be in getting your meetings. And so veterans always look out for veterans, which I love so much. And so starting there as a starting point makes a ton of sense. So here's our investor presentation that we would use to pursue either equity or a loan. But the basic framework is the same. And this is a template that you can follow. First page, a little bit of background. West Pointers love West Point. I'm no different. And I know as I'm talking to other West Pointers, they'll feel the same way. And so this is an image from West Point. How many West Pointers? How many times can you say West Point sentence? And so also talking a bit about your company, provide a bit of an overview, and then getting into really the industry a bit and the size. What are you looking to do? Provide a quick overview of your company. Now, this is information that you'll be sharing, so you certainly should not be including anything overly proprietary, but you want to give them a good flavor of what your business does. And so here we talk about how we help veteran entrepreneurs access capital, a bit of the background and the team. I always like to have clients in there because I think it does a really good job of helping contextualize for the investor. A bit more about the market. Now, this presentation is something that'll work for both equity and credit. Credit's not going to care about the market as much. They're really going to be focused on the specific financials of what you've done already.